Hello, beautiful one. This is the Raw and Wild Hearts podcast. I'm your host and guide, Lori Rising, star channeler, transformational mentor, and sacred guide of lifetimes. It is my mission to reawaken the ancient encoded knowledge, the sacred wisdom, and evolutionary truths that pulsate within every one of our cells. Join me in curiosity, intuitive guidance, and inspirational conversations where I will stand on the precipice with you. We did not come to dim our lights or play small. So I say, let's get to it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode. It's called April is Coming. As a matter of fact, it's going to be here in just 2 days. April 2024 is the biggest astrological month of the entire calendar year. There are a lot of energies in play. There's a lot of invitation for healing. There's a lot of opportunity for growth. So I decided to come onto the podcast to really drop into that with you. So even if you are tuning into this episode years beyond April of 2024, I'd like you to go back and remember what shifted dramatically in your life at this time. I mean, y'all, I'm seeing this so beautifully in my mastermind and my mentorship containers. The evolution is absolutely available. Sometimes we just need that cheerleader or that objective voice that just gives us a reminder, first of all, of how much bigger we are than these changes that are meant to take place. We get so stuck in the fear of the unknown and what's on the other side because we've been raised to be reactors, not creators. And in that space, our brain signals danger when we move into something that it's not used to. Not just the brain, but also the nervous system. So this is where it's such a great practice to have a community around you that helps you expand the capacity of your nervous system and your ability to grow in so many ways in your life beyond the linear, slow trajectory that we've been trained in and that we've been used to. So for many of you that have been working with me, you know that it is my jam to work that adaptability muscle, that resiliency, and the buoyancy of our life and energy. When we're in stagnation or when we're in stress, we cannot imagine, visualize, or even activate the present moment that has so many messages and opportunities and new paths and doorways opening to us. So y'all, here we go. We are on quite the journey that is about to ramp the F up through April. I'm just going to go through the highlights for you to have an awareness of, but really I want you to deeply drop into how exciting this is, like getting the heads up, knowing how to work with the energies, being connected to them, living in and from consciousness instead of trying to force through control. And, you know, it is my B-Day month, which means it's my solar return. And I was sitting with the wild impact that April's going to have on all of our lives. Like basically it's going to change humanity for generations to come. I mean, we're doing that right now anyway, right? You know, if you're working with me, you know that we are opening these golden gates and we are disrupting the generational patterns, the core wounds, and the karmas even that have been following us around that we've been bypassing the opportunity to shift. This is when we are wildly intentional. So we have been setting the foundation for this pivotal moment over the last 4 years. See how deeply you can find the trust within yourself about that. Because when I see energies like this come into the mix, especially heavy retrograde seasons or the wild geomagnetics that we've been having lately that can create discomfort physically for our little bodies, I'm like, yeah, let's go. I'm all about quicker transformation, not only to move to the ascension that feels a lot better, and we get to live from a lot more bliss and manifestation energy as we become the magnetic attractors and creators of our life. Also, because it's going to raise the entire vibration of humanity. So even for those that are still hella unconscious, they are still running from those deep wounds and programs and anger, resentfulness, fear, and pain, we are literally offering them a field to tap into to make it more easeful to say yes to doing the work that happens on a soul level, finding the courage and bravery to show up day after day in full declaration, in full intention, and in the knowledge and radical accountability that only you are the one that will change, grow, and expand your life. So that is what is unbelievably exciting about quantum entanglement as we drop deeper and deeper into the truth of energy. Oh, energy. It's so, so good. Oh, I digressed a little bit. What I was saying was with all of this impact that's happening in April, along with my solar return, I'm like, did I do it? Maybe not, but maybe so. Maybe this was the entire reason that I was born in this month to be a part of this kind of tidal wave of massive action and movement to heal these deep wounds that have been festering for so long. I don't know. But if you know an Aries woman, they are a force. That is for sure. All right, y'all, let's get into this. So first and foremost, we've got the Mercury retrograde that stations on April 1st in Aries, and it will go until April 25th. And then it'll be in this shadow period for a little bit. So this Aries energy, we are now in Aries season. The sun has ingressed into Aries. We've got the Mercury retrograde in Aries. We've got the total solar eclipse in Aries that's conjunct the North Node in Chiron, which means we're going to have a Chiron Cazimi in Aries as well. It's a lot of Aries energy. And Aries is all about action and our will and moving forward and physical life. So this is actually why I am loving this Mercury retrograde in Aries, because it's going to give us pause. It's going to help us be more clear and thoughtful in our communication, in our ideas, even in the way that we speak to ourselves. We'll be less reactionary because Mercury in Aries is going to have those quick, hot, fiery impulses that doesn't wait for anything or anyone. So this is ultimately going to give us an opportunity to get quiet, relax the mind, and get more innovative, because Aries and Aquarius, they're both very innovative energies. Aries is more pioneering. Aries will do the thing that's never been done before and has no qualms about it. Like zero hesitance, full blast, full board, let's dive in. Aries is the sign of confidence, of how we show up in the world. It's the self. It can be the physical self, but it's also the no holds barred self. And as we know with a Mercury retrograde, it's all about reviewing, reworking, restructuring, renewing, and rebirthing the way that those energies come into our relationships, connections, communications, even ideas and thoughts for our own internal dialogue. So retrograde periods really allow us some of this extra time to sift through what's coming up, to allow it to be revealed, because planets don't go backwards, but they look like they're going backwards in retrogrades, but they just slow way down. And Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars is that planet of quick action and reaction. Mercury is all about the mind and our mental faculties. So it's just going to be a great opportunity to get so real and raw with all that's coming up, because this takes me to the total solar eclipse in Aries that's happening on April 8th from 3:19 p.m. Eastern time to 3:23 p.m. It's going to begin a little bit over an hour prior, and it lasts about an hour or so after. The total eclipse is happening for 4 minutes and 27 seconds, which is almost double the eclipse that came in 2017. And what's extra interesting about the path of this eclipse is it crosses the path of the 2017 eclipse. Now, the US is not going to have another total solar eclipse until 2024. So that's over 20 years until we will have another opportunity to be in the power and awe of our incredible cosmos. It reminds us of how much bigger this universe is than our tiny little wondrous planet. There's also another amazing celestial phenomena happening, which is the comet Pons-Brooks, and it's going to be hitting perihelion, which is the closest to the sun that it's been in 71 years, which also means that it'll be visible to us even through the naked eye, and you might be able to see it during totality of the eclipse. The comet is also known as the Devil's Comet because every once in a while the gases ignite and they kind of explode into these two areas on the sides that look like horns. And I think this is interesting because if we look at the Devil's card in the tarot, it's all about facing the shadow once and for all. And to me, it's actually about welcoming it. What's the opportunity at growth here? Because when we allow ourselves to feel, to heal, and move through anything that's coming up in our life, when we know that these bodies, souls, minds, and energy all come together with that innate guidance to move through anything that we're presented in this life, we realize those are the stepping stones or blocks to our greatest space of ascension, of unity consciousness, and I'm even going to say of Christ consciousness because we are in Easter weekend right now. What a beautiful way to be able to navigate the experience, because no matter what, as humans, however highly we ascend, we're still going to move through it. We still are living in the density of the 3D and the physical world. We're still feeling the collective consciousness. We're still absorbing the energy of the channels that are around us, the people, the communities, the selling, the social media, the EMFs, the toxins, like all of it. We're absorbing all of that. So we have to navigate our way through that. And the more that we can really sit with, yes, I can find the resources within myself and I can invest in the resources around me to beautifully navigate all of it. And when I say beautifully navigate, that means truly letting yourself feel all the feels that come up, not bypass them, not shove them down so that you can have a brave face for people. Like you find and live in those communities that hold you in full unconditioned and full witness, because that, my friends, is the fuel to your transformation in quantum leaps, in light energy. It does not have to be the long, slow path that we've been sold with talk therapy, because talk therapy keeps us swimming in the mind and living from the mind. And that's going to keep us in the loop. Now, I love talk therapy, but I think it's crucial. It is critical that we always include elements of somatic therapy, energetic healing, and now sound, frequency, vibration. This is when we get to the root. So this is where I feel like this Devil's Comet coming in with the Aries eclipse where eclipses happen when the moon passes in front of the sun. It creates night in day, which to me is the revelation of the shadow within the light, and gives us an opportunity to see the darkness with bright eyes. So these are the revelations that come even when we don't think we're ready. They're beyond our manipulation, but they're still subject to our response or our reaction. And also, I'm getting a message right now, thank you, a hit, to remember that everyone else is going through this level of intensity, and they may be going through it unconsciously. Just by you being here, hanging out with me, listening to this podcast, I know that you're a yes on this invitation. And also, when you can hold the space for others to be feeling things that they may be bypassing, denying, or just full on reacting to, you can allow them to have that journey. You can let your space of groundedness, centeredness, care, love, and non-reaction be the medicine in the energetic field that actually could shift what's going on for them in beautiful ways. So in my containers, I tend to ask 2 questions over and over again. And this is the question that I want you to hold deep in your heart throughout the month of April. Is in any situation, in any experience or energy, especially when you're feeling stickiness, when you're feeling a trigger or a resistance come in through your nervous system, just ask yourself, am I defending right now? Defending anything? My ego, ego is what it really comes down to. Or am I creating? Am I being wildly present to the invitation through this reflection that's showing up for me? Can I allow myself to step away and find softness within the nervous system to get to that enlightenment, the ascension, the epiphany, the next level of my growth? Because these total solar eclipses don't just create these huge revelations for us personally. They happen for the collective, for the systems and structures that are being dismantled right now, but they also happen for the earth. So this is a full frequency overhaul, and the effects will continue to unfold. Definitely for the next 6 months until the next round of eclipses, but also probably for the next 20 years until we have another solar eclipse, which, by the way, in the US, there will be 8 solar eclipses this century. And this takes me to the conjunction with Chiron, or the Chiron Cazimi, which means that Chiron moves into the heart of the sun. And that is the illumination of the energy of whatever that planet, or in this case, the asteroid, holds. Now, Chiron is known as the wounded healer, which means whatever sign Chiron is occupying is really going to bring those wounds to the forefront in your interactions and experiences. So Chiron in Aries, again, this is all those Aries signatures. It's going to bring the wound of the self. How do you show up in your life? Or how do you keep yourself small? Or how do you compartmentalize who you truly are? So that's the wounding part, right? If we were just looking at full-blown Aries energy, like the sun in Aries, they're not going to hide themselves. They are going to be filterless. They're going to be pioneering the new ways of being and showing up and having that courage and confidence and taking action. So when we look at the wound of those energies, it's going to be a hindrance on all of that. It's going to be a pain in all of that. It's going to be muted and harder to access those energies. So again, we've got the self, how we show up as the self, but it's also the physical body. It's the physical body coming into the world. If you think of Aries energy, which is the first sign of the astrological year, which is where life is bursting through the seams. It's coming up through the ground. It's already been rooted, but now it's the full arrival in the physical world. And it's also the energy of how a baby comes into the world. Without all the stories and programs, they just come in and they feel. Whatever they feel, they do. And they just want to feel good. So they keep trying to do the things that feel good to them. But then we end up stopping them from doing that because it just doesn't line up with our lives and how we've structured things to run. And it's the actual taking action in your life. It's your will. How do you move forward? How do you do the things? And how do you do the things that are fully you, uninhibited, unrestricted, deeply passionate? And the fire energy is very external and it's masculine. So when we get into the healthy masculine energies, it's really about having the courage and the bravery to take the risk, to move forward without validation and in full trust of what will come from it. So I want you to feel into not just your life in general, but this month in April. Notice when those energies that I just went over are feeling squeezed or constricted within you. Notice when you're holding yourself back or dimming your light in those spaces. And also this energy is about the physical body as the conduit. And how do we show up for our physical body? How do we inhabit this sacred vessel? And how do we care for it in the knowledge that it is the easiest and biggest access point to our innate guidance system and source energy, which actually makes life happen in those spaces of trust rather than making us force life into what we think will be successful. But ultimately what we've been seeing, I mean, come on, y'all, for generations, is that force has led us to self-sacrifice, compartmentalization, judgment, comparison, lack, scarcity, and fear of moving beyond the box through the beliefs that we run based on the stories that we've created. So this is the time to have unbelievable awareness around these opportunities that come through for you to respond and pivot and accelerate in a new direction. So let's say some symptom comes through your body. Well, instead of doing it the way that you used to do it, which was basically just cover it up, put a Band-Aid on it, and maybe let it fester more and more, start moving towards a way to get to the root of that symptom and start finding new paths and avenues of working with it in the energy, in the frequency, in the belief, not just the physical, right? Because when we just stay in the physical, which is an Aries sign, that can be part of that wounding as well. That's giving us like, hey, here's the welcome, here's the invitation. How are you going to move forward with it? So your nervous system is the guidance of your body. This is going to be a month to be so on point and hella sensitive with your nervous system because yes, sensitivity is our superpower because it will lead you to something so much bigger. It will lead you to that breakthrough to break free because eclipse energy is to break it open and kind of break it open fast. Like this is very eruptive energy because let me tell you, by April 20th, we're going to have Jupiter conjunct Uranus and Taurus. And this is another pretty big deal. The outer planets really affect the collective in big ways, but we still feel them personally as well. So Jupiter is the planet of expansion. Uranus is the planet of quick change. It's like electric energy. It's basically what we're realizing and learning that we absolutely are. It's like lightning, and Jupiter's going to expand that kind of hit and change in our lives in the Taurus energy. So Taurus is all about our resources. It can be about our personal money, our personal finances, and Jupiter can expand that. So it can expand in a really beautiful, great way, or it can expand it in a difficult way if we're creating a lot of challenge and by vibrating in that frequency of scarcity with our resources. And it's not just money. This is what I really feel about the Taurus energy is that it's about remembering. It's like the highest access point is remembering the inner resources that we have. And no matter what happens around us, we always have the inner resources. And when we get more in tune and in touch with those inner resources, even if everything went away, the supply chains, the food, the conveniences that we're so used to, we could trust that we have that guidance system and the instincts that would help us navigate the world with the earth, because that's how we came in to not just survive, but thrive. The earth has all of our medicine. Notice what your beliefs are right here, because I know deep within my cells, my bones, and my blood that the earth will absolutely move through regeneration far beyond us. The earth is so much more intelligent than us. And in that same vein, we are so much more intelligent than the things that we've created in the constructs around us, and even science. Yes, science. I know my last podcast was called You Are Woo. Let me know if you listen to it. But these beings and bodies, our whole multidimensional self, which is the soul, the spirit, the energy, the mind, and the body, when they're functioning in harmony, we have such a profound state of intelligence that we've been severed from, we've been disconnected from it, but it's still there. So these are the practices. This is why we do the work. This is why we are so drawn to disrupting these patterns and wounds and limitations, because on the other side, in that high vibratory frequency, we create the miracles. We magnetize the things into our life that never would be possible through the linear states of thought or control. And the movement from the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius. The age of Pisces was all about disillusionment. It's all about giving our power away because the physical world makes no sense. And so we're looking for a fix outside of ourselves because it's not the natural state of being, which is our soul resonance and our expanded consciousness. And as we got deeper and deeper into these systems that all ultimately have some kind of power over and all are focused mainly on the mind, we looked for it outside of ourselves. And I mean, feel into your life right now, even the continual belief systems or thought patterns that you have every day. So often we continue to see this space of sensationalism culture, which is outside of ourselves. Like, something's wrong with my life, so I need something else to make it better, because if I get that, then my life will look like somebody else's, or it will become more available to me to get that result. And I'm going to be honest, I don't even know how I got onto this tangent or this energy line, but I know that we are talking about Jupiter conjunct Uranus and Taurus, April 20th. So this can bring seismic activity within the earth because Taurus is an earth sign. It's a feminine sign and it's a more internal sign. So these energies could also bring really eruptive or volatile thoughts when you're moving through your own finances, resources, connection to beauty, sensuality, and relationships, because those are all Taurus themes. It's ruled by Venus, and Venus ultimately is the love and relationship planet. So these could be areas of your life that really start to go through massive changes right after the total eclipse in Aries, because what I didn't say about Aries, which is so interesting that I skipped over that energy, is Aries is wildly independent. So Taurus, being the sign of relationships, right after moving through the wounds of independence and self, will probably bring up some pretty big revelations. Are you going to be available for them? Are you ready for them? Are you ready to integrate and activate them in your experience? That's the most important piece here. Because again, if we just swim in our heads about things and we try to change them and work them out within our heads, it's going to come back the next retrograde, the next eclipse, the next whatever cycle or season it is that wants to help you move beyond the thing. And would you believe that there's more happening in April, but I'm going to leave it at that because these are the 3 biggest energies that I wanted to share with you and massage a little bit as we basically jump off the precipice into what is going to be permanent changes for us all. We decide how welcome they are, we decide how easeful they are, and we decide how resilient we are through them to move to our next octave. Whew. Okay, so how are y'all feeling after moving through all of that? Are you excited to dive into this roller coaster of unknown energies that are going to come in April? Or are you feeling a little hesitant? Please let me know. Take a screenshot of this episode, share it to your IG, tag me. Let's get this conversation rolling. And for any of you that are new to my world, as you heard in the beginning, my name is Lori Rising, and I'm so stoked that you found us. Please, if you're listening on iTunes, hit up that star rating and click the write a review. It really does help get the show into more people's ears and create more of that ripple effect to reawaken the magnificence of who we are, our sacred truth, our innate wisdom, our evolutionary knowledge that is our birthright to live from. If you would like to know more about my programs and offers, come on over to my hub at therawandwildhearts.com. It's a whole vibe. It is magic. It is fire. Come hang out. And also, lastly, I just want to share, if you don't know about my membership community, the Wild Heart ones, this is the community to invest in. It is such a low, accessible investment for a huge ROI. This is the space where you will go through massive transformations. You will stay in alignment, accountability, and you will find the beautiful space of unconditioned and witness in a community and circle of souls that is so powerful. I love every single one of the humans that is called to come into this membership for however long they're called for. It's an open door policy. All you have to do is sign up for 1 month, stay for 1 month. And if you are feeling it, if it is elevating your life, stick with us. It only keeps getting better and the ascension is inevitable. But like I said, if you want to go after a month, I am here for it. If you want to come back at some point in your life, I am here for it. I believe in you and I trust what is divinely called into your life. And I know that you can declare it in really beautiful ways. Y'all, this is where we do the embodied work. We do the integrative work. We don't just talk about the energies like we're doing on this podcast. We have to alchemize it and integrate it into our cells and into the 3D world, because that's ultimately what we're here for. We're not here to just be spiritual selves or to just live in bliss and enlightened states of consciousness. We're here to be humans and to go through the contrast that is absolutely inevitable and actually the key to more bliss and ascended states. I know. So it's called the Wild Heart Ones Membership Circle. Go ahead and check out the link below. If you have any questions, hit me up. I am always available to hang out and chat with you to feel out what might be the best direction to move in my communities. Because y'all, I have plenty of free offers too. So jump into those and commit to them. Start pushing play, see how your life changes, and come on back, because I know you're going to want to go deeper after that. All right, y'all, I am sending you so much love, so much heart energy, and so much belief in what's possible for you through the April energies and activations. And until next time, for sure, absolutely, do not forget to keep looking up.